Sylvia from Vintage Kitchen Vixen, where I share tips for simple living, creating memorable gatherings, and preparing wholesome and traditional recipes with a vintage twist. And today I'm going to be showing you how to make vanilla extract. Now, growing up, my family always bought the imitation vanilla, and it wasn't until I really started getting into whole natural foods that I really started using real vanilla extract, and oh my goodness, what a difference it makes. Once you get into the habit of using pure vanilla extract, you never want to go back to imitation vanilla. And the next step from pure vanilla extract that you buy at the store is making your own. Right now it is mid-June and I am about to make a fresh jar of vanilla extract. Now, this vanilla extract that I have, in December it will be aged 2 years, but you can see I'm already running low. I have a little bit more than 150 milliliters of vanilla extract, which when it comes to pure vanilla extract, I mean, you would pay a pretty penny for that at the store. Costco right now, the last time I checked, I think they're selling their vanilla extract for around $40. So vanilla beans are expensive, and so is vanilla extract. I'd say it's only slightly cheaper to make your own, but it's so much more rewarding, and it makes such a thoughtful gift that why wouldn't you make vanilla extract? So right now it is June. Vanilla extract takes at least 6 months for you to get something that you will want to use. Sometimes it can go faster than that, but the longer it ages, the better it will be. When I do my vanilla extract, I just let the vanilla beans sit in there. You always want to make sure that your vanilla beans are covered with liquid, with alcohol actually. You want to make sure you use 80 proof alcohol when you're making vanilla extract. That's the only kind of alcohol you want to use. But you want to make sure that your beans are covered, because if they're exposed to air, they might get slimy and then they'll mold, and that will ruin your extract really fast. So always make sure your beans are covered. Now, I'm going to be reusing my old beans. There's not going to be as much flavor in there as fresh beans, but I'm also going to be putting fresh beans in my vanilla extract. Another thing I could do with these spent beans is let them dry a little bit and then let them sit in a little bit of sugar. So what I do is I put sugar in a Ziploc bag or in an airtight container. I put in the vanilla beans and then shake that around every so often, and then after a few weeks you remove the vanilla beans and you have this beautiful vanilla sugar that is perfect in baking. So I would use that when I'm making madeleines. So madeleines are, if you've never had a madeleine before, oops, I have bread in the oven, I'll be right back. If you've never had madeleines before, they're these tiny little cakes that are shaped like little seashells. They're a classic French pastry. They're almost like a cookie, that's how small they are. But they are so good, and they would be really good with vanilla sugar. So if you want to learn how to make those for yourselves, I will also link that below. As I was saying, it is currently June. I'm starting to run low on vanilla. I mean, I've had this for 1.5 years, so it was full. So you can see how much vanilla I go through. I do bake a lot. I want to make sure that I have enough, and since it takes at least 6 months to age and for it to get to be of a quality that you want, it is a good idea for me to start a new batch now, so that when it comes to December, which is the month where I do the most baking, because I love giving out homemade gifts, and edible gifts are one of my favorites. I seldom get edible gifts, but when I do, it's extra special, especially when it's handmade. But vanilla extract is one of those things that makes a really beautiful and thoughtful gift. And you can actually buy these little 2-ounce like amber jars, or you can even do 4 ounce if there's somebody that's extra special. But just giving out like these little 2-ounce jars of homemade vanilla extract, like you make your own little label. It's really cute, and I mean, pure vanilla extract is a prized possession in a kitchen. If somebody were to give me a homemade bottle of vanilla extract, I would always think of that person in the most favorable light, because I mean, that's an amazing gift. At the same time that I'm making this, like maybe in a couple of weeks, I need to get more vanilla beans. I only have enough vanilla beans to make a cup of extract. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, and how many vanilla beans you want to use in proportion to a cup of alcohol. I can either put a bean or two in one of these small bottles and give that as a gift, or what I would do is start off with just making it in a large jar. You can even put a bunch of vanilla bottles straight into a bottle of alcohol if that's easier for you. When I strain this out, actually I'm just going to strain it out now. I do want to use the vanilla beans that are in here, so I'm going to strain it out. This is not the best strainer. It is the smallest strainer I have. I used to have a smaller strainer, but it got really rusted and gross and I got rid of it and I never replaced it. Oh my gosh, when I open this, it smells heavenly. So good. Oh, okay. So I'm going to pour this out and I'm going to put it into a smaller jar. Come on, ouch. And you can see a little vanilla bean flecks in the jar. I don't know if you can see that. But I put in a bunch of vanilla beans for this, and actually whenever I use like real vanilla bean in a recipe, what I would just do with the bean is add it into my jar. So why let something go to waste? So I'm gonna get a fresh jar. Are you the same size? Yeah, you're the same size. Same lid. Very good. If I was making this for a gift, this is what I would do. I would just pour it into a bigger container, and then I would use a small, tiny funnel, and I would pour it into those small 2-ounce bottles, and then, depending on how much of an extra touch I would want to do, I would stick in a couple of these pieces, and I would just put it in the bottle, because that, to me, I think that looks beautiful. But when you're giving that gift, just make sure that your recipient knows to keep that vanilla bean covered, that they can use it with sugar, because if it gets uncovered, again, if air gets to it and it gets uncovered, it'll get slimy and they don't want to ruin their extract. So just make sure that they know that the vanilla bean needs to stay submerged. Another thing I could have done, but I didn't want to do it because I don't want to dilute my vanilla extract too much, I could have just add more alcohol to the extract that I just transferred over here. But I would rather make a fresh batch and just reuse these beans. So I'm just gonna put those in there. I'd rather reuse those beans than dilute the extract. All right, so I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna pour it into another container later. But now we're getting into the fun part. When it comes to commercial standards, and I'm not going to do this because I don't have money coming out of my eyeballs, because vanilla beans are still expensive. When it comes to commercial standards, there's something called single fold vanilla and double fold. For a company to be able to sell vanilla extract, they need to at least sell single fold vanilla extract. What that means is that each cup of alcohol gets 0.8 ounces of vanilla beans. And that's actually quite a lot of beans. Now, the double fold, that's what people in bakeries like using. So basically, the stronger the extract, the stronger the flavor, the less vanilla extract you need to use. It gives you a richer, deeper vanilla flavor. And for a double fold, you need 1.5 ounces of vanilla bean for 1 cup of alcohol. So that's a lot of vanilla beans. I can't afford that. Like, I got these from Costco, and I think I spent, these are beautiful vanilla beans, by the way. They're nice and soft, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I don't even know what kind of vanilla beans these are anymore. I think they are Madagascar bourbon vanilla beans, but Costco sells like huge packaging, and I just wanted to get something that was quick and accessible. I was at Costco, the vanilla beans were there. I grabbed them. Normally, I order my vanilla beans from eBay. The nice thing about that is you have a choice of what kind of vanilla that you want to buy. So you can buy anything from the ever popular bourbon vanilla beans to Tahitian vanilla, which is more floral, or if you want something that's spicier, a little bit smokier, you can get Mexican vanilla beans. When it comes to extract, grade B beans are perfect for extracting. So they're not as pliable as these beans. These beans are meant to be used for baking, but grade B beans are a little bit harder, but they're great for extracts, and they're actually cheaper than grade B beans, so it works out perfectly. Sometimes I'll just slip these with scissors, but I want a cutting board today. Not as prepared as I would like to be. Oh, that's a huge cutting board. That smells like garlic. Okay, that's neutral. Okay, so don't mind me sniffing my cutting board. I don't want my vanilla extract smelling like garlic, so excuse me if you were grossed out by that. But it's the same thing when I'm cutting fruit. I always smell my cutting boards. I used to have a cutting board designated for like just fruit, but my husband just grabs whatever cutting board he wants, whatever is available. So I lost my fruit cutting board pretty quickly. We do, however, have a cutting board that's just for meat, and that works out beautifully. And it's bright red, so my husband knows that that's for meat. When you're making vanilla extract, you want to split your beans. I think some people are tempted to stick these in whole, but that's going to take so much longer to extract the vanilla from the bean. So if you split it, you're really going to increase your chances. And I'm going to scrape my vanilla bean, and I'm going to put the grains. Gosh, I can't remember the word. But I'm going to put the grains right into my jar. Now, last time I made extract, I just split the beans and I popped them in there, but I want more flex in my vanilla extract. I think it's beautiful when vanilla, like goods that are baked with vanilla, have a little bit of a speck. Like when you think about it, when you eat vanilla bean ice cream, wouldn't you want little flecks of vanilla in there so that you know you're eating vanilla bean ice cream and not something that's just being marketed as vanilla bean? Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you a close-up view of this. You just kind of like open it up a bit. If you never scraped a vanilla bean, it's really easy. You just go along like that. And then you get this beautiful vanilla bean paste. So I'm just going to take my jar and I'm going to pop the paste in there. It's going to smell like vanilla for the rest of the day. That's the best part about working in a bakery where you handle real vanilla beans. You smell like vanilla. And then just split them in half. Like if you are using an alcohol bottle, you probably don't need to split them, but I'm just using this half pint jar. So it's the same thing like that. So I'll do that again. Show you from the start. So you just split it right down the middle, the best that you can. Just cut it in half. And you can do this with scissors too. You don't have to scrape it out. If you think vanilla bean flecks are ugly, which I don't know why you would, because it just shows that it's real, that it's quality. But you can just split them and skip this step. But I think this is a beautiful step. The more vanilla beans that you use in your alcohol, the stronger the extract you're going to have. So today I'm going to be using 5 vanilla beans for a cup of extract. I might pop in a little bit more alcohol in here. You could get away with 3 beans per cup of alcohol, but I'm going to do 5 beans because I'm going to get a stronger, richer flavor, and that's what I am all about. So I paid, let's see, how much did I pay for these? I paid, I think it was $22, $25 for 5 beans. You can get a pack of 10 beans on eBay for around $35 to give you an idea. And again, in Canada, I am paying almost $40 for a bottle of vanilla extract. So it kind of works out to be the same price, but you get to have full control over your vanilla beans, and I prefer making my own extract. Like once you start making something from scratch, it's hard to go back. But the cost savings aren't huge unless you don't use as many vanilla beans as I am, like 5 beans per cup. But yeah, I might be putting a little bit more alcohol in here just because I have my spent beans from last time. But there we go. So measure out a cup. I'm using brandy. But you can use vodka, you can use rum, you can use bourbon. I don't use my brandy very often, and I didn't want to go to the store to buy more. So there we go. That's what a cup gives you. And I want to make sure my beans are submerged. Like one of them is sticking out right now. Can you see that? One of them is sticking out right now. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more to make sure it's covered. Okay, so that was a lot more, but that's fine. Okay, that's how you do it. It's that simple. Every few days or so, you just give this a swirl. You give it a shake, and that'll help the extraction process speed up a little bit. And by 6 months, you should be good to go. So right now, if I smell this, hi. So right now, if I smell this, it smells like brandy. It smells pretty strong. You know, this is a really weird shot. It smells like alcohol. Once this starts smelling like vanilla, that's when it's done. Okay, so because making or buying vanilla extract is expensive, there are a couple of shortcuts when you're making it. So I already mentioned that you can buy grade B vanilla beans, which are great for extracting. But another thing that you can do is buy cheaper alcohol. Some people argue that you want to use alcohol that you would at least drink in a cocktail. This brandy, I use it when I am making eggnog. So this is brandy that I drink, and I mean, you could get the cheapest vodka that you can get your hands on, but that's like one way that you can cut costs a little bit. Like you can just buy cheap alcohol, but some people say you shouldn't cheap out too much. So just keep that in mind. Like, I guess the cheaper the alcohol, the harsher the extract. I don't know, like you don't drink this stuff straight. Those are just two things that you can do to reduce the cost. And again, like you can reuse your beans, like get as much use you can out of the beans. So like I reused beans for my last batch. Actually, I need to put my extract away, but I use beans for my last batch of extract. And when I am sick of those beans, like I'll just put them in sugar just for one more pass. If you go through a lot of vanilla extract, like just get in the habit of making vanilla extract every year. So I like doing it in June because then that way I get Christmas gifts in December that I can give out. And that's kind of like why I'm making this video too, because we're at that time of year where some people start thinking about Christmas, especially if you want to give out homemade gifts, because there's nothing like homemade. And I'm one of those people that goes a little bit crazy with all the consumeristic spending that happens during the Christmas season. So every year I get more driven to give out homemade gifts where I can. So I will bake bread, I will give cookies. I mean, I wish I had more crafty skills so I could give out mittens and scarves and beautiful handmade crafted items, but I'm not that crafty. I'm good in the kitchen, so people get edibles from me. That's one of the benefits of canning. I always have a gift that's ready to go, whether that's a jar of salsa or dandelion jelly. I always have something that I can give as a hostess gift. That's the thing, like it's not just for Christmas, like vanilla extract for a birthday, for a hostess gift. If you're a teacher, wouldn't you be thrilled if you got a little bottle of vanilla extract? So for storage, I always do my vanilla extract in glass. And because I'm using a clear jar, it is best to store this in a dark place. So my place is right here in my cupboard. So it's in a dark place. If you are not storing your vanilla in a dark place, just be sure to use like amber glass. And if you are using vodka as your alcohol to extract the vanilla bean, make sure you use unflavored vodka. That kind of goes without saying, but I can see somebody getting tempted by extracting vanilla extract in birthday cake vodka. Doesn't that sound good though? Like birthday cake vanilla extract? Kind of does, but just think about all those flavoring agents and chemicals that go into making flavored vodkas. You don't want those chemicals and those flavor agents to mess with your pure vanilla extract. Otherwise, it's not going to be pure vanilla extract. It's going to be gross birthday cake vanilla extract. I don't know. Like, just stick with something that's pure. Don't go with flavored alcohols. Just use straight pure vodka, brandy, rum, or bourbon. Another thing that you might want to do, which I did not do, I probably should have, but I wasn't thinking about it. When you are making vanilla extracts, especially to give out as gifts, like when I can, I sanitize my jars, but I did not do that when I just made my vanilla extract. In fact, I didn't do that last time either, and my vanilla extract was fine. But in case your jar is questionable, or if it's brand new, you might want to sanitize that. So just give it a good wash and boil it in water for 10 minutes and it'll be ready to go. I do realize I've been talking for a while. I need to get this vanilla away in a different container, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Vintage Kitchen Vixen. If this is your first time to the kitchen and you liked what you saw, I really hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell notification so that you never miss an episode of Vintage Kitchen Vixen. And do be sure to check out one of my other recipe videos to see what silent film mode is all about. And if you are coming back to the kitchen, thank you so much for being here and for tuning into another episode of The Kitchen. I'm always so happy to have you here and I'm so grateful for you. Please, if you want to support me, like this video, share it, leave a comment, because either of those things really helps me out to grow this channel and reach more people. So thank you so much if you are one of those viewers who does that time and time again. Like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Other than that, I put out one new video and blog post a week because almost every video that I film has an accompanying blog post. So the link to this blog post will be in the show notes below. But other than that, one new video a week. So I will be seeing you next week. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Where's my oven glove? So, I'll give you 5 more minutes. What I want to strain up. Shoot. All right, Brad, you can come out. Come here, Brad. There's my bread. Isn't it beautiful? It smells so good. Okay. I'll wait with you. Now I have bread. Very good. When you're making extract, I highly recommend splitting the beans. You're going to get... not right now, Mom. Hi, Mom. Can I call it? I'm in the middle of a video. Can I call you back when I'm done?